Hello, BookTube. It's Eric. I am back with another book haul video. It's been a couple of weeks, and I've hit up some thrift stores and that kind of stuff. So let's just get into it. Picked up a copy of Andrew Bacchus' Aftershock. Now, I've read exactly one Andrew Bacchus book that I really liked. This one sounded interesting, so I grabbed it. This is not part of his Burke series, which I tried to read, and I'm sorry, it was just a little bit too dark for me. So this one looks like it has something to do with a I don't know, school shooting or a conflict at a school. So I figured that kind of sounded interesting, so I might check that out. The one Andrew Bacchus book I read that I really liked was this one. Found another copy of this really cheap, so I grabbed this for the purposes of passing it along. All right, sometimes kid stuff, not even young adults, but kid stuff kind of catches my eyes. This whole series of the Chet Gekko mysteries that have titles that riff on classic crime novels. This one is The Hamsters of the Baskervilles. Other titles include Farewell My Lunch Bag, The Big Nap, This Gum for Hire, The Malted Falcon, Trouble is My Beeswax. That kind of stuff sounds kind of fun. Maybe I'll go ahead and read this at some point. Harlan Ellison. This is just odds and ends. You can't go wrong with Harlan Ellison. Yeah, he's kind of a cranky old man sometimes, but his stuff's always worth a look. All right, I picked up a couple Robert Parker novels. I might actually have copies of this one, but I know I didn't have this one. So I think I've gotten all the Spencers that I want to catch up on. I know that by the mid-90s or late 80s that they were kind of a shadow of what they had been. But I'm enjoying rereading the 80s ones right now. A couple of early editions of the first three, Mac Bolin Executioner. This is the first one, second one, the third one. And of course, as always, I point out, take a look at the spines. Yeah, these look like early editions. They're in pretty good shape. This one's got a little bit of damage on the edge, but hey, happy to grab those. Also picked up Edward S. Aaron's Assignment Tokyo. This came from the same place, I'm sure, as those Mac Bolin ones. This just looks like 70s crime and spy fiction. Copy of On the Beach by Neville Shute. Somewhere I had grabbed also, and of course you're looking at the top of my head now, sorry about that. I'll show it in a bit, but did grab another copy of Earth Abides. Joe Gore's Dead Man. Got that for 50 cents. Hardback copy of Lawrence Block's Tanner on Ice. Finding that hardbacks maybe hold up better to reading. And this is not a library, sorry. This is not a library edition, but it's in a nice dust jacket. So, hey, maybe I'll repurpose that for some other novel. But let's say I find that reading hardbacks hold up to better handling than paperbacks do. First of the Burglar novels. I believe this is the first one. No, the second one. Sorry, the first one's Burglar. Can't be Choosers, as I recall. Yep, second one. This looked interesting. Mortal Consequences. This is winner of the Special Edgar by the Mystery Writers of America. Distinguished English crime novelist and critic, has given us the best history of the detective story and crime novel yet written. I found it wonderfully good reading. Ross McDonald. So this is a nonfiction look at crime and detective fiction. Found a copy of Whitley Strieber's The Hunger. Paperback from Hell, but this is a hardcover copy. I do have a paperback copy, but I'll probably wind up reading that one. Okay. Lois Duncan. I just picked that up mainly because of the skeleton hands on the keyboard. It says, why does the exclusive boarding school Blackwood have only 4 students? Kit walks the dark halls and feels a penetrating chill. What terror waits around the next corner? Yeah, young adult fiction, but sometimes I do want to check that out. All right. So I went to a used bookstore yesterday, and I didn't find anything that I really, really wanted. But since it's a good drive to get there, and I wanted to leave them with some of my money. This looked interesting. I've seen this around. Deadly Harvest. Uh, it's kind of looks like it's filed under urban fantasy, but it's got kind of a noir horror thing going on. And this, which looks completely ridiculous, and I think I saw this on, somebody posted a picture of this cover on Twitter, but I found this for a couple bucks, and I was like, yes, I will grab that. If nothing else, I love that font. All right, so same trip yesterday. Here's the copy of Earth Abides I promised to show. If you haven't read this, this is classic post-apocalyptic fiction. This heavily influenced The Stand. Highly, highly recommended. And out of the free bin, I grabbed a copy of Children of Dune. I've never read any of the Dune books, but I figured I'd grab that. Okay. Johnny Mnemonic goes in the tie-in shelf, movie tie-in shelf. I love it when actually you take a character that you have a novel based on a screenplay that's based on stories by William Gibson, who himself was a novelist. All right. Let's see here. So speaking of movie tie-in stuff, we'll go with the obvious one. So there's a movie tie-in version of Heaven's Prisoners from James Lee Burke. This one is a less obvious one, and of course I should have pulled out my DVD, which is it right there? No, sorry, it's not right there. This has been made into a movie twice. Once a movie called Fair Game with Stephen Baldwin and Cindy Crawford, and the other time this film, which, if you haven't seen it, is very much Stallone's take on Terminator. This is an insane film. It's kind of a comic book, just over-the-top classic. It might be one of the best canon films, but if you watch this with in the back of your mind, look for every parallel you can to Terminator. It makes it highly entertaining. And I think it also answers the question of who was better, Arnie or Stallone in the 80s. Arnie all the way. His movies are so much better than Stallone's in so many ways. But anyway, so Fair Game here. This is the book that movie was based on. And I think Beverly Hills Cop might have also taken some of its DNA from this book. So this is it's not in super great condition, but I got it for 50 cents. So I figured I'd check that out. Okay, ready for the paperbacks from hell stuff. So I went to this thrift store, and I go up to the counter with my 4 books, and like, you get one more, we'll charge you $1. So I went and I found Summer Night by Dan Simmons, which I positive already have a copy of this, but to save myself a couple of cents, I grabbed it. Oh, I had grabbed this out of the free bin as well, the Damien the Omen 2. So I also picked up a copy of William Goldman's Magic. Now this is, in fact, coming soon, the motion picture starring Anthony Hopkins. I'm not going to tell you what that's about, but that's a creepy 70s movie, even though it's been probably 20 years since I've seen it. But yeah, that looked interesting. I got this mainly for this cover. They don't do a lot of medical thrillers, medical crime, horror stuff, but this looked kind of interesting. So this was the score of the last couple of weeks, just for the cover alone. Now, I looked on Amazon. This doesn't go for a whole lot of money, but Robert McCammon's Night Boat. We have to read the back of this one. This is an Avon book. The copyright date is 1980. This is, in fact, the first Avon printing. Okay. They are coming to seduce the living and devour the dead. Deep under the calm waters of Caribbean Lagoon, salvage diver David Moore discovers a sunken U-boat entombed in the sand. Then David hears something that twists his soul in utter terror. The deep, hollow boom of something hammering with a feverish intensity. Something trying to get out. The night boat. Yeah. Oh, and then it says, it won't stay down. I saw this and I was like, yes, that's going home with me. So finally, one last thing. I grabbed an audiobook of F. Paul Wilson's The Select. I have a bunch of his stuff, and I have not read any of it yet, but this is actually read by Elizabeth Shue, so I figured I'd give this a shot. All right. Probably be another month or so before another update, because I don't plan on doing a whole lot of thrifting between now and the end of next month, but we'll see. As you can see, some bare shelves back there. I'm rearranging things in here, trying to organize it to get maximum amount of space usage. So we'll see how this looks next time I do one of these. And until then, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, all that kind of stuff. And take care of yourselves.